Hello all, here at OS Reviews. You're watching our hands-on review of the Wiwoo U2, a digital MP3 player with a built-in clip that sells for $35 for the 8GB version. Comes in two colors, a blue and a black. So there are a few reasons why you may want to consider this particular model, especially if you're into sports and you go to the gym or you're jogging and running outside. Carrying around something like a phone, which is a lot harder to attach firmly. If you put it into your pocket, it just seems to bounce around. And also the battery life is probably going to be shorter on your smartphone with LTE, Wi-Fi, GPS services turned on versus something like this, which is dedicated and can play audio for over 30 to 40 hours on a single charge. So it's lightweight, it's quite portable, it's not too expensive, and there actually have been a few advancements made to just digital MP3 players like this compared to versions that we saw a few years ago. For one, it supports lossless audio formats now, so the chipset here is capable of high-res audio. Even if you're sitting down and listening to music more precisely, you should enjoy it more than low-cost MP3 players of the past. It's also built entirely out of metal, so construction quality has also improved quite a bit. Has a OLED display, which is energy efficient and bright enough to be read outside, and also comes with pretty fancy-looking earbuds out of the box. So the U2 is just an MP3 player. It's not an MP4 player, so it doesn't play videos, doesn't play photos, anything like that. It's audio only, but it has a built-in mic, so you can record voice memos. And it also has FM radio capability after plugging in the headphones, which acts as the antenna. So let's take a quick look at the packaging here. Pretty simple, charges up apparently in around 3 hours. And the most impressive thing here really is that lossless audio codec support. And we also have what looks like a strap. So you can attach this to your arms and it holds the MP3 player into place as you're listening to the music. Since it is very low cost, it doesn't come with built-in Bluetooth, so you can't use wireless headphones with this particular model. And indeed, they actually are much more premium feeling and looking than many bundled earbuds that you'll find on other devices. Actually, the tips here are made completely out of aluminum, so they have a very good construction to them. They'll actually look like expensive headphones in their own right, and there are even spare tips if you want to get a more comfortable fit. So this is actually a pretty nice bonus that you get as part of the value. It uses a standard micro USB for charging and syncing data. And here we have just the MP3 player itself. So taking a quick look at the design of the player first, it really is actually very solid in terms of construction on first impressions because the entire body is made out of aluminum. On the top here, we do have access to micro USB port for charging, and on the other side, there's a standard 3.5mm headphone jack, a dedicated hold and power switch, and on the side, there are even volume controls or volume rockers for adjusting the volume up and down. This is actually a really neat feature because on many smaller clip-on MP3 players, they often won't use these buttons or put them on there just to save on cost. Let's try booting this up and see what the UI is like. It should be pretty simple, and here again we have that OLED display. And once inside, we can see the time as well. So there's actually a time that you can set up, battery information. The first page is dedicated to music. The next page down is the FM radio, and then voice recordings. There's a folder view for looking back at files that you can store. Going into settings for changing things like screen brightness, changing the volume, things like that, and it cycles back onto music. So the interface here is very simple and it loops over, so it's quite intuitive to use. And here's what the volume process looks like. This is what shows up on screen when we change the volume. It shows up as a dial, so going down to 0 and then going all the way across, it fills up this entire circle, so that's kind of an interesting way of showing that. Let's have a quick size comparison with some other products that I have nearby here. So first of all, another low-cost MP3 player. This one also doesn't have Bluetooth, and it has a pretty similar cost, also about $20 give and take. And you can see kind of the difference there. This is an MP4 player, so a larger screen, but it's not OLED, it's a regular LCD. And we also have a Samsung P3, which we recently did a throwback review on our channel, and you can see again the size difference there. So this is a lot more portable, the same size basically as a thumb drive, which makes it a lot easier to just tuck away into a backpack, clip on, and forget that it's even there, as opposed to something like this, which is more of a device that can boggle you down when you're moving. You can see that after the screen times out for a few seconds, it goes into this oversized clock, which is actually very cool. This is a bonus feature I didn't expect. So let's dive into sound and performance. Thankfully, the audio quality of the U2 is excellent. In fact, it's definitely one of the better sub-$50 MP3 players I've tested when it comes to audio performance. I would say that it outperforms even the iPod Shuffle and the iPod Nano when it comes to having more definition in the sound if you load it back with high-res certified tracks. The included earphones also are actually pretty good. They're not quite as detailed sounding as more expensive audiophile grade headsets per se, considering they're basically free, but they have great body and warmth, especially with the sample orchestral music that they've loaded it up with. And it really does a great job showcasing the sound, which really does feel like you're transported into a concert when you're listening to it. So really impressive for built-in free headsets that you get. Otherwise, when you're in this particular music playing menu, you can also long hold on this back key for a few seconds. That brings up additional settings such as an equalizer, which allows you to adjust things like specific genres of music, rock, funk, hip-hop, jazz, classical, techno, which plays around with the sound a little bit more. Let's tap on once to go back. I can also change the speed of the playback. So I can make it faster, make it slower, which is another pretty cool trick I haven't seen before on other low-cost MP3 players. So tapping on back again, you can also do things like add bookmarks and add it to a specific playlist if you want to create one. Another benefit of this particular player coming out of China is it supports a lot of languages, whether it's Chinese, whether it's accents in Spanish, whether it's Italian, all types of different languages can be displayed in terms of lyrics as well as the song names without any problems. Now for the negatives. I found that the button placement on the side here is actually a little bit loose. I'm not sure if you can kind of see it. If you start kind of shaking it around a little bit more, it produces a little bit of noise. It doesn't seem to be the most firm button mechanism here. The included headphones here, even though they sound very good in terms of audio quality, do produce a little bit of cable noise. What I mean is if you are running or jogging and the cable kind of bounces off your shirt, it produces a little bit of sound. So that can distract a little bit from the audio quality. I would personally suggest using a different pair of earphones if you're just trying to jog or exercise outside, and these are probably more designed for sitting in one place and listening to the music. Otherwise, the FM radio also works quite well, especially in the Seattle region with a pair of earphones attached. I can get a handful of channels, no problems. I can even start recording and saving parts of the radio to the device's built-in memory, which is nice. And it's simply plug and play, so you can just attach it onto any computer, Mac or PC. It will be recognized like a thumb drive where you can then store content. You can also store files, use it as a USB thumb drive, or drag and drop music files pretty quickly. And here's what the interface looks like when it starts to record audio. You can see that it has over 73 hours of audio recording out of the 16 gigabytes when it's new. And this is at the medium resolution for fidelity. Other potential cons from the design would be that there isn't a built-in micro SD card slot, so you can't really expand the built-in memory. So that's more or less it as far as our hands-on review of the Wiwoo U2, a 16GB digital MP3 player that actually exceeded my expectations when it comes to giving you pretty good value for the money. The construction quality really is top-notch. The built-in clip is extremely handy. It's very lightweight, but at the same time it delivers great sound, especially with high-res lossless audio formats, and the included earphones also sound very good. They're very warm and encompassing. It's not perfect though, including some of the controls and ergonomics can be slightly improved upon, but I think at this price point, if you're just looking for something lightweight to complement your music listening when on the go, it's a very good choice to consider. You can learn more details in the links down below, but for now this has been our video. Thanks for watching here at OS Reviews. That's been the Wiwoo U2 digital audio player.